was how do you see yourself in the future? I think I'm more going to talk about a little bit of the philosophy that I've learned and kind of developed from very smart people. And hopefully I'll bring a good future, not only for me, but for everybody. So kind of the topic of the speech is to not seek happiness. And you guys are all in for something very interesting. Or maybe not. So in the West, there's this idea that happiness is the end of everything, right? So what makes you happy? The purpose of life is to be happy. But, at the end of the day, like, what does that even mean? So the actual technical definition of happiness is a feeling of pleasure and content. So that sounds pretty good, right? Like, who wouldn't want to feel good all the time? But there's a problem with that. And it's defined as a feeling. And feelings change, right? They're shifting. They're like the weather. So, there might be an issue with aligning your life with an ever-shifting target. And if we focus all our actions on being happy, I think it'd be mayhem. Let's say one day you woke up and you're just feeling lazy. You don't want to do anything. You're not going to go to work or take care of your kids. You're not going to spend time with your family or work out. So you kind of start seeing how aligning all your views and goals with happiness, doesn't really take you anywhere. And you almost become like a slave to your impulses, chasing high after high like some dopamine junkie. So what can we do? What's a better alternative? And there's this amazing book by Dr. Jordan Peterson. It's called 12 Rules for Life. And in there he pretty much gives an alternative. And he talks about seeking fulfillment and meaning in order to get significance and purpose in our lives. So for example, a lot of people have worked on something very hard, a project, or they've worked on years on a very difficult skill, or even made someone's day better, or just accomplished something great difficult. And it's incredible because that feeling of pride and serenity, it dwarfs any empty pleasure from being on Netflix or being on Instagram or any of the 10,000 other ubiquitous vices that we have available to us. And the beautiful thing about it is that it's almost a foundation that never goes away, right? It stays with you, and it always gives you the sense of pride and accomplishment, no matter what happens after. And it could be as big as building a business, or it could be as small as just getting your closet in order, as he talks about in the book. But it has to matter to you, right? You have to care about it. The unfortunate things that sometimes life can be hard, sort of tragedy and illness and suffering. But why not at least make it worth it, right? If it's there already. And this is one of the biblical ideas of sacrifice. You see it in the story of Noah's Ark, when he's preparing for a catastrophe, or even Jesus suffering on the cross. And he also talks about the idea of hell. And not the actual everlasting hell, but he talks about your own personal hell. Right? Like, when your consciousness is eating you alive and you're just following into a bottomless pit. So, like, imagine visiting that. Or imagine bringing your family there too. This doesn't sound too good. And then there's the collective hell. Right? When enough people forget themselves and lose their values, and you end up with things like the Holocaust or the Russian gulags. But again, how can we get away from that? Well, the best thing is to make our lives better at an individual level. And you do that by grabbing the two extremes, right? So on one end, you have how your life would look like if you did everything that you were supposed to do. Right? It's very different what we know we're supposed to do and what we actually do. And on the other side, you have your own personal torment, right? So like, how bad can it get? How bad can you screw it up? And you let it scare you. Because the most powerful human motivator is primordial fear. And you use that motivation to get from this side to this one, and get as far away from this one as you can. And it's very noble because, by pursuing something meaningful, it's an incredible attempt to get as close to your heaven as you can get. And I think it's one of the biggest purposes and callings there is. So there's always going to be the nihilists out there who's going to tell you the world is too far gone. You're only one person among billions of people and billions of planets, among billions of galaxies in an unmeasurable universe. So what does it matter when your actions are so inconsequential? I think that is so wrong because, I love the way of thinking that you're not, dropping the universe, you're the universe in a drop. And it's very beautiful because no matter how twisted and backwards and grotesque and nasty the world can get, your world doesn't have to be, right? Your little corner can be good and can be holy and can be purposeful. So you can justify existing despite the darkness around you. So the point is that I don't think the purpose of life is to be happy. Maybe the purpose of life is to have a life of purpose.